And welcome to Harrison County High School basketball. I'm Jim Swinford coming to you from Monticello Heights Gymnasium, where tonight the Phillies will be taking on the Lady Stangs of Bishop Brossart. Well, both of these teams come into tonight's contest looking for a victory after losing their most recent games. Bishop Brossart fell at home to Montgomery County 61-46 on Friday, while Harrison County lost at Ludlow on Saturday night 73-57. The Lady Stangs have a definite height advantage over the Phillies, so it'll be interesting to see how the Harrison County coaching staff handles that issue. In the JV game just completed, it was the Bishop Brossart Junior Varsity defeating our JVs 47-10. Right now, both varsity teams are on the floor going through some pregame warm-ups. We invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a closer look at both Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports and the Cynthiana Hardy's pregame show. Alrighty, back here at Monticello Heights Gymnasium, Harrison County and Brossart, about 11 minutes away from getting this game started. Well, as you may know, Bishop Brossart is the reigning 10th region champions. They come into tonight's game with a record of 2-2 on the year. They lost at the Mason County Lady Royals Showcase to start the season against Boyd County, but then won in that same tournament over Harlan in the second game. Last week, the Lady Stangs won at home against Holmes High School before the loss to Montgomery County in a rematch of last year's 10th Region Tournament Championship game. Bishop Brossart returns two starters off of last year's team that finished 21-6, losing in the first round of the Girls State Tournament to Bowling Green 50-48 in double overtime. The biggest loss, though, Marie Kiefer, the 10th Region Player of the Year last year, who is now playing up at Ball State University and averaging about 5 or 6 points a game in about 26 minutes. So Kiefer already making her presence known at the Ball State Cardinals. This year, leading the way scoring-wise, senior Lauren Mocht. Mocht is averaging 9.5 points a game. One thing, though, about this Brossart team, although they do play very good defense, offensively they have struggled mightily this year. As a team, the Lady Stangs are only making 33% of their shots from the floor, including just 17% from three-point range. They've also been struggling from the free throw line, making just 51% of their charity tosses. But along with that good defense, along with their good defense and their somewhat mediocre offense, they are giving up just 46 points a game. They're coached by Garen Parker, who's in his first year as the head Lady Stang. He was the freshman coach last year. He took over for Kevin Bundy, who was the Lady Stangs coach for 5 years. Coach Bundy is now the head coach of the Mason County Lady Royals. The biggest issue for the Lady Stangs this year, with Kiefer gone, somebody is going to need to fill the leadership vacuum. Meanwhile, Harrison County lost at Ludlow on Saturday 73-57, but it wasn't all bad. Freshman point guard Bailey Hudgens scored a career-best 16 points and was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Gab Hadrick had 16 in that game, while Kara Hines had 12, and also getting in double figures, Caroline Van Hook, who had a career-high 10, so he had 4 girls in double figures. Thus, the offense is starting to show its potential, although field goal-wise, we're only hitting 37% of our shots. Need to work on the defense, though. In that game on Saturday, it was the second time this season in the 5 games we've played so far that the Phillies have given up at least 70 points. We also need some offense and defensive help off of the bench. So far this year, in our 5 games, the bench has scored a total of 7 points. Tonight is the first of 3 home games this week for the Phillies as they try to get better and better. Well, both teams are returning to their respective locker rooms, so we'll invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's game between Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look now at the starting 5s for both teams. First for Bishop Brossart, as we said, 2-2 on the year. At a guard, a 5'6" senior, number 4, Madison Parker. Parker averaging an even 8 points per game so far this season. At the other guard is Alexis Caife. Caife wears the number 22. She's a 6-foot senior and is averaging 3.5 points a game. At a forward position, Molly Kramer. Kramer's a 5'10" junior, wears the number 20 and is averaging 8.8 points a game. The other forward is manned by Olivia Lloyd. She's a 5'8" junior who wears the number 24 and is averaging 7.8 points a game. And in the middle, a 5'11" senior, number 5, Lauren Mocht. Mocht leads the team in scoring at 9.5 points a game. So once again, for the Lady Stangs, it'll be Parker, Caife, Kramer, Lloyd, and Mocht. So far this year, Bishop Brossart averaging 47.3 points per game on offense, but on defense, getting it done, giving up just 45.8 points a game. Now for the Harrison County Phillies, 1-4 on the year. At a guard, a 5'2" 8th grader, number 12, Keely Custard. Custard averaging 3.2 points a game. The other guard is Gab Hadrick, Harrison County's leading scorer this year. She's a 5'3" senior who wears the number 15 and is averaging 16.4 points a game. The third guard is Bailey Hudgens. Bailey had a good game in the loss the other night up at Ludlow, getting a career-high 16 points, raising her average to 9.6 points a game. She's a 5'5" freshman who wears the number 23. At one of the forward positions, Kara Hines. Kara wears the number 4. She's a 5'9" senior and right now is averaging 9.4 points a game. And at the other forward, a 5'9" junior, number 22, Caroline Van Hook. Van Hook likewise had a career-high 10 points in that game against Ludlow, raising her average to 5.8 points a game. So once again for the Phillies, it'll be Custard, Hedrick, Bailey Hudgens, Hines, and Van Hook. The Phillies only averaging 45.8 points per game on offense. On defense, giving up 58.6 points per contest. So there are your starting quintets for the game here tonight between the Lady Stangs and the Phillies. Well, while we have this opportunity, let's take it back to the station to Bruce Templeton from Unity Christian Church with tonight's pregame. County and Bishop Brossart about to meet for the 23rd time in the program's histories. Harrison County trails in the series 16-6. In fact, Bishop Brossart has won 11 of the last 12 meetings between these two schools dating back to December of 2008. The only win during that time period came in February of 2018. It's a series that actually began back in January of 1995 when the two teams got together up at Alexandria in the Northern Kentucky Classic, a game which Harrison County won 49-46. And since Kim Marshall has been at the head of the Phillies program, her record against Bishop Brossart just 1-10. Last year, the two teams got together up in Northern Kentucky with the Mustangs winning 47-34. The last time that Bishop Brossart came to the Hilltop was a couple of years ago in January of 2020, a game which the Mustangs won as well, 50-44. So tonight's a good night to end that bad streak against these Lady Stangs of Bishop Brossart for sure. So there's a short history of the rivalry between these two schools. Well, the Phillies will be back in action on Wednesday as they'll continue their three-game homestand this week as they'll take on the Lady Defenders of Bryan Station. And then on Friday, Grant County, the Lady Braves, will be coming to town. Ed Lewis will have all the action of that game for you on our app, 101.3. Then a week from tonight, the Phillies will get back on the road, go back up to Northern Kentucky, where we'll be taking on the Lady Tigers of Beechwood High School. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds, 3 games in a row winners, now 3-2 on the year, had a nice win over Franklin County on Saturday. They'll be back in action tomorrow night, and it's going to be an interesting game for our guys as they take on the reigning 10th region champions, the Clark County Cardinals. Clark County rated in the top 10 in the state this year and have all but one starter back from last year's team that got to the final 8 of the Sweet 16. Then on Friday, it doesn't get any easier as the Thoroughbreds will head to Lexington to take on the Blue Devils of Henry Clay. And then on Saturday, the Breds will be hosting the Huck Turner Classic. 4 games will be on tap that day. We'll get to those later on. But suffice to say that Harrison County will round out the day with a 7:30 start against arch rival Bourbon County. The wrestling team, meanwhile, their next match will be coming up this Saturday when they'll head out to Louisville Central for the Rumble in the Hive, one of the biggest and best wrestling competitions in the regular season. So best of luck to Coach Ashbrook and his charges. Meanwhile, the bowling team, they'll be hosting Lexington Catholic out at Galactic Alley on Friday night. And then on Saturday, they'll head to Danville to take on both the Ads and the Boyle County Rebels at Danville's Bowling Alley. So there's your look at what's coming up for our winter sports in the next week or so. Well, the Harrison County Air Force Junior ROTC is set to bring out the colors. So what we're going to do is we'll take a listen to the national anthem, which will be performed by the Harrison County High School Pep Band. After that, we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off of tonight's game between Harrison County and Bishop Brossart. But right now, let's bring you our national anthem.
Junior ROTC program. Carry the U.S. flag in commanding is Cadet Captain Carter Moore. Carry the Kentucky state flag is Cadet First Lieutenant Abigail Palmer. And the guards are Cadet First Lieutenant Jesse Munoz and Cadet Staff Sergeant Miles Bryant. At this time, the Harrison County Pep Band, under the direction of Mr. Sean Hyatt, will lead us in the national anthem.
at Harrison.
Alrighty, both teams have been introduced as we're just about to get this game underway from here on the hilltop. The 1-4 Phillies versus the 2-2 Bishop Brossart Lady Stangs. Some final words of wisdom coming from the coaching staff for Harrison County before they go out on the floor and get this game started. We said earlier the Lady Stangs JV beat our university 47-10. Kara Hines will be jumping center for Harrison County. Across the midcourt stripe from her will be Lauren Mocht of Bishop Brossart as we're about to get this game underway, and the tap controlled by Bishop Brossart. Ball goes into the hands of Madison Parker, their point guard. Dumps it down low to Kafe on the wing. Here's a three fired up and good by Olivia Lloyd. So Lloyd starts out the scoring for her Lady Stangs 3-0 as we play just about 20 seconds in this ball game. Into the front court with the basketball, Hudgens. Bailey goes between the circles, being guarded man-to-man out there by Molly Kramer. She'll get it in the hands of Custard on the left wing. Keeley gets it on the right side to Hudgens. Tries a pass down low to Hines. It's a bit beyond her and out of bounds. So on the turnover, give the ball back to Bishop Brossart. Brossart, as we said, coached by Garen Parker. This is his first year as the head coach. Across the timeline with the basketball comes Parker. Met by Keeley Custard. She'll get it on the wing in front of the Harrison County bench to Mocht. Over on the right side, long range to Parker once again. Now to the top of the key, finds Lloyd for another three. Try good. So Olivia Lloyd buries a couple of trays early, and that will prompt a quick timeout by Harrison County so that they can figure out a way to stop Lloyd or at least guard her a little bit. Just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here, but exactly 7 minutes left to go in the first quarter and a 6-0 lead by the Lady Stangs. Harrison County Farm Bureau knows that if you want something protected, you keep it covered. Call 234-4514, and Dustin or Amy will get you covered. Last thing the Phillies want to do is get down by 10 or 12 points early against a very tough defensive-minded Bishop Brossart squad. Hines will inbounds the ball to Hudgens. Bailey looks over to Coach Marshall real quick before crossing the center stripe on the near side of the midcourt circle. Dribbles into the paint, goes to the basket. Her off-balance shot rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Hedrick, and as she goes back up with it, she's going to be fouled.
Number 15, Hedrick to the line for the Phillies.
Adrick will be going to the line for the first time tonight on the year. Gabb, a 75% free throw shooter. First one is on the way and bounces off to the right, no good. Second free throw by the senior is on the way, and this one is also no good. Long rebound, chased down by Kara Hines. Hines goes back to the block, baseline pass to Van Hook, who lays it up and in. Nice pass that time by Hines as Caroline gets her team back to within 4 at 6-2 off the putback of that missed free throw. 6.5 left to go in the first quarter. In the front court, right side, Parker three, short. Rebound bounced around. Custard comes up with it. Now I think she's going to be fouled. Actually, they're going to just say the ball was knocked out of her hands and out of bounds. Coming in for the first time for Bishop Brossart, Bentley Fisher. Fisher, a 5'8 senior, averaging 1.8 points per game. Hines inbounds the ball against pressure to Hadrick. She'll get it to Hudgens on the far sideline into the front court to Van Hook. Van Hook back to Hudgens. Bailey kicks it on the baseline to Custard. Fakes the 16-footer, and now as she makes her move towards the basket, they're going to call a double dribble. So give the ball back to Bishop Brossart. Full court man pressure being applied by the Phillies. Inbounds pass comes to Parker. Parker now guarded by Custard. Still has not yet crossed the midcourt stripe. Now she does on the far sideline. Gets it inside the center circle as she angles over to the left. Now reverses back to the right and gets it long range and into the hands of Mox. Up top between the circles to Cave. Cave gets it down low and into Lloyd's hand. And Olivia Lloyd, who came in averaging 8 points a game, just picked up her 8th point of this first quarter. Makes it an 8-2 lead. Phillies rushing down the floor. Keely Custard puts it up and in. Nice drive that time by the middle schooler to get the layup and get her team back to within 4 at 8-4. Into the front court with the basketball will come the point guard Parker for Bishop Brossart. She'll get it into the hands of Lloyd. Lloyd guarded by Hudgens, gets it up top to Parker. Now to the left side, long range to Mock. Mock takes her dribble to the top of the key. Now dishes it on the wing to Lloyd for another three try. This time it's no good. Rebound, though, is going to be picked up by Fisher, but she's standing on the inline. So the ball will go back to Harrison County. In the game for the first time for Bishop Brossart, actually Molly Kramer, she was a starter, coming back into the ball game after a short stay on the bench. Down 8-4, Harrison with the basketball. 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Hudgens with it in the front court, directing traffic near the timeline. Has the ball knocked away, goes and retrieves the loose ball. Now gets it in the corner to Custard. Custard will bring it back up top to reset the offense as she backs up near the center circle. Guarded closely out there by Kramer. Keeley goes inside the arc on the left side. Now pitches it back to Hadrick near the timeline. Gabb rushes inside the paint to the block. A floater is going to be blocked out of there. Rebound's going to be picked up by Parker. In the front court, here come the Lady Stangs. Up top, Mocked gets it in the paint now to Kramer. Kramer in the corner to Lloyd. Lloyd back to Kramer. Skip pass back to Lloyd for a three-point try that's no good. And the ball is going to be knocked out of bounds by Harrison County. Got to grab that rock, girls. New substitute coming in the game for Bishop Brossart, Bella Rowe. Rowe, a 5'5 junior, averaging 4 points a game. She'll come in for Lloyd. From her own baseline, Rowe gets it underneath the basket to Mock, and Mock lays it in. Increases the Lady Staying lead to 10-4 on Mock's first basket of the game as we near the midway point of the first quarter. Hudgens with the basketball in between the circles, crosses over her dribble, gets it in the corner to Van Hook, fakes the three, moves inside the arc, now skip pass to the near side to Custard on the baseline to Hudgens. Hudgens, a bounce pass in the paint, but first we're going to have a foul called on Bishop Brossart. It's going to be on Fisher. That'll be Bentley Fisher's first and the team's first as well. From her own baseline, Van Hook to trigger the inbounds pass. Lobs it on the wing to Hadrick. Gabb goes into the paint, goes to the basket, and as she does, she's going to be fouled. Dropping to the ground was Rowe, but the foul is going to be called. Actually, they said 1-5. I'm not sure who that foul was on. Hadrick from her own baseline gets the ball to Hines on the wing to Hudgens. Pass to the left side, long range to Van Hook. Van Hook, a bounce pass in the paint, knocked away, and loose ball picked up by Bishop Brossart. Up into the front court quickly comes Kramer. Kramer gets it in the hands of Rowe. 10-4, Bishop Brossart leads. 3.5 left to go in the first quarter. with the basketball now at the right elbow is Lloyd, who's returned to the game. She'll get it back into the hands of Mocht. Mocht in front of the Harrison bench to Parker. Parker being hounded by Hudgens. Now makes her move in between the circles. Gets it on the right side, long range to Kramer. Into the corner of the row. And now Hines, going for the steal, is going to foul Rowe. That'll be Kara Hines' first personal foul. Treat yourself to some snapping. Salads, chicken wings, sandwiches, and of course Beast Pizza. Call 235-7627 right now. That's 235-SNAP. Thank you, Ryan. Inbounds pass will come to Parker. She'll hand it off this time to a new girl in the ball game. That's Claire Hummel, 5'6", junior, averaging a half a point a game. She'll get the ball to Rowe. Backdoor cut intended for Parker is passed a little bit too low and goes out of bounds. That's the first turnover of the game for Brossart, but gives the Phillies the ball back, still trailing by a half a dozen at 10-4. As we hit the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, Hudgens crosses the timeline into the front court on the left side to Hadrick, long range. Gabb in between the circles to Hines. Kara makes a move to the right elbow extended, now down to the block. Her shot off the glass is no good, but a foul is going to be called on Mocht. That will send Hines to the line for the first time tonight on the year, a 69% free throw shooter. Looking for her first points of the evening, came in averaging 9. Also trying to get her team back to within 4. First free throw by number 4 is going to bounce in there. Cuts the deficit down to 5 at 10-5. As we said, 2:48 on the clock here in the first quarter. Second free throw by the senior is on the way, and this one is going to be good as well. Nice shooter's touch that time by Hines. Harrison back to within 4. Walking the ball up the floor this time will be Parker. Met at the midcourt stripe by Custard. She'll bounce past the ball to Rowe in the far corner in front of a nearly empty stable. Rowe back on the wing to Mock, long range. Mock lobs the ball inside, gets it into the hands of Parker, who puts it up and in. First points of the game for Madison Parker. And now a whistle. And, the scoreboard went out. Now it's back on. 2:30 left to go in the first quarter. Harrison trails 12-6 as the Lady Stangs have doubled up our Phillies. Hines will inbounds the ball to Hudgens. Bailey calls out the play as she approaches the timeline where she'll be picked up defensively by Parker. Drops the ball. Got to get across that line. Lobs it. And we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Marshall. And just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. So with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter, Harrison County down 12-6 in what we figured was going to be a defensive ball game. That is exactly what it has been so far. Cynthiana Hardee's has made from scratch breakfast options and the best burgers in town. Hardee's is a proud supporter of Reds and Phillies basketball. Now the timeout, Harrison County will have the ball. They've never led this game, but they've never trailed by more than 6 points. So they've stayed right with the reigning 10th region champs. Got an issue with the scorebook and some names that are in there, it appears. So I think they're trying to straighten that out. Now the two officials will get together to discuss whatever the issue happens to be. That happened 2 or 3 times this year where either a name is not in the scorebook or else the name is in the scorebook but with the wrong number. Not sure exactly what the situation is here, and I'm not even sure if it's something that concerns Harrison County or something with the Bishop Brossart roster. Official talking to our scorer, and it seems like everything's okay. So it's number 15. That's Gab Hedrick on our side. 15 on their side. Not too sure about. Clara Hummel, but that's all we know. All righty, Van Hook inbounds the ball to Hadrick inside the center circle. Gab nearly lost control of the ball, but retrieves it. Now races down to the block, floats one inside. It's going to be picked off this time by Parker. Not sure what Gab was wanting to do there. Into the front court come the Phillies on the left side. Long range, Hummel has it. Hummel now gets it into the hands of Parker. Parker being hounded by Hudgens. Good defense that time by the freshman. Gets it to the top of the key to Hummel. Hummel now will get it in between the circles to her point guard, Parker. And Parker is going to get bumped pretty hard by Hines. That'll be Kara's second personal foul. Coming into the game for Bishop Brossart, Olivia Lloyd returns. Also making her first appearance for Harrison County, Kylie Hudgens. Kylie Hudgens, a 5'8 senior, averaging 0.8 points a game. She'll come in for Hines, who will have to sit with those 2 personal fouls with 1:51 left to go in the first quarter. Inbounds pass is into the backcourt to Parker. Parker crosses the timeline where she's met by Kylie Hudgens defensively. Moves over to the right side, long range, nearly dropped it. Now picks it back up, gets it to Rowe at the top of the key. Rowe throws the ball away, a steal by Hedrick. Gab goes all the way the other way and lays it up and in. So a good bucket that time off the steal and layup by Gab. Gets her team back to within 4 at 12-8. 1:24 left. Here's a 3 fired up by Brossart. No good. Coming down with the rebound is Molly Kramer, and she's going to be fouled. Back in the game, Bentley Fisher returns for the Lady Stangs. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Lloyd. Lloyd with 8 of her team's 12 points. Gets it in the corner to Parker. Back to Lloyd. Up top, she'll find Fisher. To the left side, long range to Mocht. Mocht in the paint to Kramer. Kramer forces up a shot that's no good. Kylie Hudgens goes up there and gets the rebound. Here come the Phillies, down by 4. Hedrick with the basketball. Takes it to the foul line, kicks it on the wing to Kylie Hudgens in the corner to Custard in front of the Bishop Brossart bench. Keeley goes back up top in between the circles to reset the offense as we've got under a minute to go in the first quarter. Harrison down 12-8. Here's a pass to Hedrick, and the ball's going to be knocked off of her hands and out of bounds on a nice diving defensive play by Lloyd. 5 first quarter turnovers by the Phillies. Gives the ball back to Brossart with 46 seconds left to go in the quarter. Walking the ball into the front court will come Parker. Drifts to the right side, nearly had it taken away, gets it into the hands of Lloyd. Lloyd back out top to Fisher. Fisher to Mocht. On the baseline finds Parker. Parker gets the ball to Kramer from the block, misses the shot. Lots of contact, and we're going to call a foul on Brossart. It's going to be called on Kramer. That'll be her first. So Harrison County with the ball and 27 seconds left. Hedrick will walk the ball up the floor, calls out the play. She crosses the timeline on the far side of the circle. Now goes into the paint, stops, backs it back out again. Still 15 seconds left to go in the quarter, plenty of time. There's a lob inside, knocked away, but the loose ball picked up by Hudgens. Bailey, a Euro step to the basket, and as she misses the shot, she's going to be fouled. Foul is going to be called on Kramer. That'll be Molly Kramer's second. Is it a shooting foul, are they going to say? And they're going to say no, it was not. Coming in the game, Jill Plano. Plano, a 5'6 junior who has yet to score this year. 8.5 seconds left from her own baseline. Van Hook to trigger the inbounds pass. Caroline looking underneath the basket, has the ball knocked out of bounds by Parker. Just 1 second bled off the clock. So still 7.5 seconds. Van Hook from the opposite side of the basket to inbound it from her own baseline this time. Gets it, or tries to get it in the hands of Custard, but it's going to be off of the hands of Plano. Now Hines will check back in. Coming in for Kylie Hudgens as Harrison County trying to get a score here going into the second quarter. Now Hedrick will inbounds the ball. Lobs it over Hines' head, but Hudgens is there to pick up the loose ball. Bailey forces up a 14-footer, no good. Hines rebound, put back, yes! Kara Hines with the offensive putback, and that is the way that the first quarter will end with your score. Bishop Brossart 12 and Harrison County, they've got 8. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC. All righty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County closes the gap to just a couple of points on the putback by Kara Hines just before the buzzer. Harrison County will trail 12-10 going into the second quarter and will have the ball and a chance to either tie the game or get back in the lead. Kylie Hudgens will start out the second quarter as Hines will stay on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. Hadrick has the basketball, across the timeline, gets around Parker, but it's going to be cut off on the baseline by Lloyd. Goes to the elbow, goes to the block, off the glass, short. Rebound pulled down by Molly Kramer. Brossart with the 2-point lead and the basketball. Rushing into the front court this time will be Parker. Gets it on the right side to Lloyd, long range. Lloyd already with 8 points. Back toward the first 8 points of her team's points in this game. Pass to the left side to Parker in front of the Harrison bench. As Parker drives inside the arc, she's going to be fouled by Hedrick, and that'll be Gabbs first. From her own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass this time will be Lloyd. Olivia Lloyd, a junior, looking, gets it underneath the basket to a wide open Kaif. Misses the shot, but then puts it back up and in. First points of the game for Alexis Kaif on the putback. 7:17 to go. It's a 14-10 Harrison County deficit. With the basketball, out top is Custer. Drives to the basket, but drops the ball, picks it back up, gets it in the corner to Hadrick for a 3, tries short. Rebound is going to be pulled down this time by Mocked. And into the front court come the Lady Stangs. Right side, Lloyd fakes the 3, moves inside the arc, gets it back up top to Parker. Parker to the foul line to Kaif. Kaif pitches it down on the block to Kramer. Kramer against a triple team and is going to be called for 3 seconds. So give the ball back to the Phillies on the turnover. If you've been thinking about a farm or machinery loan, call Michael Furnish with Farm Credit Mid-America at 859-254-2741 and learn how he can help you. In the corner, here the 17-footer put up by Kylie Hudgens, no good. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Kramer. Into the front court with the basketball come the Lady Stangs. Kaif, skip pass to the near side to Mock. Mock drives to the basket but misses the layup. Kaif put back no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line for a couple of free throws. It's her second offensive rebound of the second quarter. Kaif at the line for the first time tonight on the year, 0 for 3 from the charity stripe. Looking for her third point, and it's going to be good. Checking in the game for Bishop Brossart is Jill Plano. She's already seen some action. Also back in the game, Lauren McNeese. Good to see Lauren back out there after missing 3 games with that knee. But back out there now. Second free throw by Kaif is also good to extend her team's lead to 16-10. Into the front court with the basketball comes McNeese to the basket and lays it in. There you go. Lauren making her presence known very early here in this second quarter after she came in, gets the layup to get her team back out in front, or back to within 4 points at 16-12. Phillies still lead. Under 6 to go in the first half. Kaif out top, lobs it inside to Kramer, flashing towards the basket, and Kramer lays it in. First points of the game for Molly Kramer. Gets her team the 6-point lead once again, matching the Stangs' largest advantage of the game. 5:44 left to go in the first half. In the front court, Van Hook drives into the paint and has the ball back tapped away from behind for a turnover. Here's a lob inside to Kramer the other way. She can't handle it. Loose ball is going to be picked up by Hadrick. Gabb racing the other way. 1-on-3, hold up. Gabb reverses, a runner, up and in. Good job that time by Gabb, faking that she was going to go back outside and quickly turned around and went back to the basket for the runner to get her team back to within 4 at 18-14 as we approach the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. With the ball Mocked, races to the basket, misses the shot. Rebound pulled down by McNeese. Up the floor and into the front court come the Phillies. Down by 4. Custard in the corner finds Van Hook. Van Hook will bring it back on the wing. Now gets it in the hands of Hadrick, long range. Hadrick spins, goes into the paint. Another runner is off to the right this time. Kramer comes down with the rebound for the Lady Stangs. Bringing the ball into the front court this time will be Lloyd. Lloyd drifts to the right side, gets it in the corner to Kaif. Now back to Lloyd. Now back to Kaif. Now on the wing on the far side to Kramer. And now I think that Coach Parker is seeing that his team is a little bit confused. Calls a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. But with 4:29 left to go until halftime, Bishop Brossart's lead at 18-14 as I catch up a little bit on my bookwork here. About 6:32. Phillies will be back in action here on the Hilltop on Wednesday when the Lady Defenders of Bryan Station come to town. Phillies will also be at home on Friday when Grant County makes their appearance. I'd much rather go to Grant County when we play them because, as I've mentioned many times before, they've got that skyline right beside or right near the school. I don't think it'd be wise for me to go there after a Grant County game here. I'll get a skyline sometime or another. They're all over the place. Alrighty, with the basketball, Parker, who's back out there, gets it over on the right side to Rowe for a three. Bounces off, no good. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Mocht. Mocht gets it back out to Parker, who in turn will get it in between or on the far side to Rowe. Rowe bumped pretty hard by Van Hook, no call. Gets the ball to Mocht out beyond three-point range. Mocht steps inside the arc, now to the right side, gets the ball to Fisher. Fisher brings it back between the circles. Oh, Kylie Hudgens almost stole that ball, but able to retrieve it is Parker. Right side three by Rowe, in and out. And on the rebound, Cave's put back is no good. And Bailey Hudgens comes down with the rebound for Harrison County. Quickly in the front court, she'll get the ball on the left side to Kylie Hudgens long range. Kylie up top between the circles to Van Hook, who will back up inside the center circle to reset the offense. 18-14, still your score. We've been stuck on this score for a couple of minutes. Harrison County down. They've trailed the entire game, but by never more than 6. Hudgens, that's Bailey to the right side to Custard. Custard is going to travel as she got herself kind of off balance as she was stepping to make a pass. Molly Kramer returns to the floor for Bishop Brossart. Kramer's been in and out in this game several times. But with 3:21 left in the first half, Madison Parker will bring the ball to the front court. Parker gets it to the top of the key, now into the hands of Mocht. Mocht goes to the basket and off the glass and good. 4 points for Lauren Mocht on her layup there. Puts her team back out by 6, 20-14. 3:02 left to go in the first half. With the basketball, Bailey Hudgens goes into the paint. Double team, forces up a shot, and it's going to be called off because of a travel. Just got too deep a penetration that time. Hadrick returns to the floor now for the Phillies. 2:55 on the clock. Remember, Kara Hines, one of our better offensive weapons, on the bench in foul trouble. If the Phillies can maintain just a 6-point deficit, we'll be fine. Parker across the timeline with the basketball. Drifts over to the far hash mark where she'll get the ball to Rowe. Rowe in between the circles to Fisher. Fisher now to Parker on the left side. Parker being guarded closely by Custard. Brings the ball back out to the top of the key and now has her pass stolen away by McNeese. Lauren stops. Gets it back up top to Kylie Hudgens. Back to the right side to Custard on the baseline to McNeese. McNeese drives. Puts up a shot. Blocked out of there that time by Parker. Ensuing rebound is going to be gathered in by the Lady Stangs, and that is Fisher. And now we're going to have a turnover by the Lady Stangs. Coming back in the game, a couple of subs for Bishop Brossart as Hummel returns, as does Plano. Also for Harrison County, coming in the ball game was Bailey Hudgens, who had sat out for a second. Bailey with the basketball, drifts to the right side, long range, goes down to the blocker, shot off the glass, is going to bounce in there. First points of the game for Bailey Hudgens. And Harrison County back to within 4 once again at 20-16. Under 2 to go in the first half. Parker in between the circles. Gets it on the right wing, long range to Hummel. Hummel takes her dribble to the top of the key, to the left side to Mocht for a three-point try, off the flange. Rebound is going to be chased down by Bailey Hudgens, but picking off a pass will be Bishop Brossart. Now a pass goes beyond the Bishop Brossart Mustangs and into the hands of Gab Hadrick. Gab races to the baseline where she gets the ball to Custard. Custer to the near side to Hudgens. That's Bailey to the baseline to Hadrick. A 15-footer is short. Rebounds hauled down by Kylie Hudgens, who will be tied up by Mocked. Alternating possession arrow. We'll give the ball back to the green-clad Bishop Brossart Lady Stangs. Bella Rowe checks back in, as does Olivia Lloyd. As the Lady Stangs will have the ball with just over a minute to go. 20-16 your score. Across the timeline comes Parker. Crosses over her dribble, gets it on the left side to Rowe. Rowe, bounce pass on the backdoor cut. Gets it into the hands of Lloyd, who scores her 10th point. So Olivia Lloyd, double figures for her tonight. Gets her team back out by 6, 22-16 with just under a minute left to go. Now a runner in the lane by Van Hook, rolls off, no good. And down with the rebound is Kramer, her 5th rebound of this first half. Racing up the floor, Parker, nobody cuts her off, and she misses the layup. Rebound is going to be pulled down by Kramer. Her putback is no good, but she's fouled. And Molly Kramer will be going to the line, trying to give her team its biggest lead of the ball game with 35 seconds left to go in the first half. Kramer's first free throws of the night on the year. She is a 45% free throw shooter. First free throw is good, though. Back in the game, or actually in the game for the first time, Hannah Kramer, 5'6" junior, averaging half a point a game. Second free throw upcoming for Kramer. Right now they lead 23-16. Second free throw is no good, and down with the rebound is Caroline Van Hook. Just 27 seconds to go. Harrison down by 7. Near the timeline, Bailey Hudgens lobs it on the wing to Custard. Custard, now a bounce pass back out top to Bailey Hudgens. Lobs to the foul line to Hadrick, who's going to be fouled by Lloyd going for the steal. That'll be the 7th team foul on the Lady Stangs, so Harrison County will shoot the bonus. Bella Rowe checks back in for Bishop Brossart. Hadrick 0 for 2 from the line tonight, which is very uncharacteristic of her. Trying to close the gap a little bit more at 14 seconds left. First free throw is perfect. Nothing but net for Gab. Gets her team back to within 6 again at 23-17. Second free throw is also good by the senior. Now let's stop these girls here. 23-18, Brossart leads. 10 seconds left. Crossing the timeline is Parker. Parker drifts to the right side, long range with 5 seconds left. Drops the ball. Loose ball picked up this time by Caroline Van Hook to get the ball to Hadrick. Guns it at the buzzer, no good. And that is the way that the first half will end with your score. Bishop Brossart 23, Harrison County hanging right on in there with 18 points. We invite you to stay tuned now for our halftime show, brought to you by Joe Cochran out at State Farm. With overall the scoring and the stats from this low-scoring first half coming up after this timeout. But once again, your halftime score from here on the hilltop, Bishop Brossart 23, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCIN Sports.
Looking for a unique gift idea that supports a good cause? Hinton Mills has commissioned limited edition Christmas ornaments, and all proceeds benefit the Shop with a Cop program. It's a great program that supports local police officers teaming up to do Christmas shopping with
Harrison County trailing the visiting Lady Stangs of Bishop Brossart by a score of 23-18. It's been a close first half. Neither team has had more than a 6-point, make that 7-point lead. That was when the Lady Stangs had a 23-16 lead with about a half minute left to go. Harrison County, other than that, has bounced between being 2 and 6 points behind, but sticking right with a very good Lady Brossart team, Lady Mustangs team. Let's take a look at the scoring. First for Bishop Brossart, they were led by Olivia Lloyd, who has 10 points here at the break, including a couple of threes. 8 of those 10 coming in the first quarter when Brossart got the lead. Also scoring, 4 points for Lauren Mocht, and 4 points as well off the bench for Alexis Cave. 3 points for Molly Kramer rounds out the scoring for Bishop Brossart here in the first. Oh, no, I take it back. Madison Parker has 2 points. Also playing but not scoring, Bella Rowe, Hannah Kramer, Claire Hummel, Jill Plano, and Bentley Fisher. For the Phillies, Gab Hadrick has 6 points to lead the way. 4 points for Kara Hines, who had to sit a lot of that first half with foul trouble. And then 2 points each for Keely Custard, Caroline Van Hook, Bailey Hudgens, and Lauren McNeese. Good to see Lauren back out there on the floor. That's the way it's, Kylie Hudgens also got in the game but didn't score. That's the way the individual numbers look. We'll take a break and come back and tell you what the team stats look like coming up after this timeout. But once again, here on the Hilltop, your halftime score, Bishop Brossart 23, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County trailing 23-18 to Bishop Brossart. Let's take a look at the team stats, which are remarkably pretty even. Harrison County was 7 out of 18 from the floor in that first half. That's 38.9%. They tried just 2 threes and missed both of them. Meanwhile, Bishop Brossart was 9 of 23. That's 39.1%. They attempted 9 trays and hit 2. From the charity stripe, Harrison County was 4 out of 6 at 66.7%, while Bishop Brossart, they were 3 out of 4 for 75%. Turnovers, almost dead even. Harrison County committed 9 turnovers in the first half, while Bishop Brossart had 8 miscues, 6 of those coming in the second quarter. And the rebounding battle was won by Bishop Brossart 13-10. 3 offensive and 7 defensive rebounds for the Phillies. They were paced by 3 different players with 2 rebounds apiece, those 3 being Kara Hines, Bailey Hudgens, and Kylie Hudgens. Meanwhile, Bishop Brossart paced in the rebounding department by Molly Kramer, who has half a dozen rebounds here at the break, including 5 in the second quarter. So there's your look at the team stats from the first couple of quarters of what I think is going to be a game that will go all the way down to the wire here on the Hilltop over the next 2 quarters. Well, both teams have returned to the floor, so we'll take a break and then come back with a third quarter handoff following this timeout. Once again, your halftime score, Bishop Brossart 23, Harrison County 18. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WC. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. We're just about ready to get the third quarter underway. Harrison County down 23-18. As we mentioned, Harrison County has never led in this ball game, but have stayed within striking distance the entire 16 minutes of the first half. And the Phillies will have the ball to begin the third quarter of play as well. Caroline Van Hook will inbounds the ball to begin things. Kara Hines back out there with those 2 personal fouls. Hadrick gets the pass, gets it down low to Hines, who misses the layup. She was way too open, I think. Rebound's going to be chased down by Mocht. And up the floor come the Lady Stangs. Pass to the left side to Lloyd. Long-range 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Going in there and getting the rebound will be Fisher. And she'll push it back out to reset the offense. In between the circles, Parker has it. Drifts to the right side, and her pass intended for Lloyd, knocked out of bounds by Hadrick. Hadrick, one of the all-time steals leader in Harrison County history. Inbounds pass will come into the hands of Parker, being guarded by Custard. Parker looks inside, now drifts down on the baseline, cut off by Keeley. Nice job defensively by the 8th grader. Gets it up top to Lloyd. Lloyd to the right side to Parker once again. Parker goes baseline to the block. Her layup is good. 4 points for Madison Parker. Gets her team back to a 7-point lead at 25-18. We haven't yet played a minute in this third quarter. Here's a steal by the Mustangs. In the corner with the basketball is Lloyd. She was hot early but cooled down quite a bit after that. Up top inside the center circle to Parker to the right side. She'll get the ball in front of her own bench to Fisher. Back to Parker. Now between the circles to Kramer. Back to the left side, long range to Parker once again. Parker guns the ball to this side to Lloyd for a 3. Good. Third tray of the game for Olivia Lloyd. And the lead for the Lady Stangs grows to 28-18. 6.5 left to go in the third quarter. With the basketball in the front court on the right side, Custard. Custard now makes a move down the baseline to the block. Has her shot blocked there by Mocht. And Mocht gets the rebound as well. Here come the Lady Stangs. Double-digit lead now. They've scored all 5 points here in the third quarter. Hadrick now guarding Parker on the switch. Custard picks her up. Now gets it in between the circles to Kramer. Kramer in the paint, back up top to Parker. Parker drives to the elbow extended, gets it up top. Here's a three fired up by Mock, no good. But down with the rebound is Fisher. Her layup is no good, and on the ensuing rebound, we're going to have a tie-up. Alternating possession arrow will face the way of Bishop Brossart as they'll maintain possession. From her own baseline, opposite side of the basket, Olivia Lloyd will trigger the inbounds pass. Lloyd looking, still looking. Got to be close to 5. Now launches it up where it's picked up at the top of the key by Kramer. She'll hand it behind her to Parker. Parker to Mocked in the corner finds Fisher. And Fisher's pass is going to be knocked to the bounds by Hines. Brossart will maintain possession.